Hi, my name's Jordan Nelson. Welcome to talkSPORT's brand new MMA channel. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Dakota Ditcheva, ahead of her fight at PFL 1 in April. How's it going, Dakota?
Yeah, everything's good, thank you. Yeah, I'm really well.
Brilliant. And obviously I've just mentioned there you've got a big fight coming up, but it'd be remiss if I didn't speak about the last one because that was a really big one as well. It was a big one for you. You came European champion, you won a load of money. A few months later, how do you reflect on that experience overall?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great year for me. I came away with the European belt, the first PFL Europe tournament, and I managed to come away with that. So I was really happy. It was a brilliant year for me. But yeah, kind of all eyes just on this year now. I wasn't satisfied with that as happy as I was. So I'm looking forward to jumping into this one.
Brilliant. I've got to speak about the fight itself because I was sitting cage side for that, and your poor opponent, you could see her eye, and then the swelling on it, and then about 3 seconds later, the rest of her body comes into focus. It was a strange injury, and just from a fighter's point of view, I'm interested to hear what's your reaction when you see something like that in a fight? Does it become a target practice, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I felt sorry for her to be honest a little bit. I did see that she couldn't see out the eye, so I didn't really want to carry on in the next round. I was happy that the ref had stopped it. But at the same time, I am there to fight, and she would do the same thing to me. So it was kind of like if I had to carry on, I would do it. But I'm glad it got stopped because it wouldn't have been fair to keep going.
And from a massive night of fight, I would say your performance was the standout one. You finished it off. You hit the griddy. You got Man City shouting you out
Yeah.
on the social medias. From a point of view of your career trajectory, how do you feel about the attention that's been on you since then? Do you feel like there's been more, more press, more things like that since that big win?
Yeah, definitely. I think the end of last year, like December after the fight, was just a little bit crazy for me. Social media wise, like interviews and just posting and things like that was just a lot. And I'm not one that particularly enjoys social media too much anyway. But to have like obviously the connections with City and obviously PFL pushing my name out, they're really important things that not a lot of fighters get. So I have to count myself lucky, that I'm with a promotion that is pushing me like that. And, I've got ties with, clubs like Manchester City who are getting behind me and getting my name out there as well. And yeah, I just have to, as much as I don't enjoy it sometimes, I have to count myself really lucky that I get opportunities like that.
Absolutely, and so on. I'm sure you enjoy, we all enjoy it, is money, and you won a big load of it on that fight. You got that $100,000 check. I think the last time we spoke, it was coming up to Christmas, and you were saying your brothers were already eyeing up the money and thinking about their great Christmas. How was the festive period with a bit of extra money in the bank?
Yeah, do you know what? It was really nice. I was able to get my family with the presents that they wanted. They picked their own, and it's just nice to have a little bit of security. Like, obviously, unless you've been through it as a fighter, at the start of the game, it's a tough ride. We don't have a lot of money at all, and we don't get paid that much until we get with these big promotions, which takes a while, to get your name to stand out and, get the big opportunities. So to be able to have that little bit of security, I'm not saying I've got like all this money in the bank because I really don't, but just have that little bit of security to be like, okay, I'm fine for maybe the next year to train in now. I can like, maybe have a massage every week, if I'm tired, I can do that this time. And, sometimes they're the things that you think about and, you kind of, you don't prioritize because you want to save your money, because fighters don't get paid a lot. So it's nice to be able to even just splash out on things like that.
Absolutely, and I'm sure there's some, up and coming prospects, 10-0 fighters who are still working over jobs to make it end meet, to have that security blanket
Yeah.
is awesome, and you go straight from that to the $1 million tournament, which is it's just an unthinkable amount of money for myself when you think about
Yeah.
that. Looking ahead in less than a year's time, what do you think?
Yeah. It's crazy to think what I'm going to be doing this year. It's like a little bit wild. It's still not sunk in. I think because I'm kind of just taking it fight by fight. As much as I know I'm in a tournament and it is going to be a lot, I've still got to like get past the first hurdle. So I don't want to like look too far ahead. But at the same time, I could. I mean, I changed my life at the end of last year. I could change my life even more this year. Like it's crazy the opportunities that I'm getting. But I'm just really excited to keep working, keep in the gym. I really like the fact that I know when I'm fighting this year. Sometimes after a fight, you're a little bit like, when's the next one? But being in a tournament, I really enjoy the fact that, I know how my year's planned out and I've just got to basically keep winning. So I'm excited for this year. It could be another big one for me.
Yeah, there's plenty of big name opponents coming. First up, it is Lisa Mauldin. For anyone watching, listening at home who aren't familiar with her, what are you expecting on fight night?
I mean, same as always. I'm always expecting a tough fight, but I know that when I go in there, I always turn up. So, she's had a few stoppages through like submission and things like that, and I've had a few stoppages the opposite way through striking. So it'll be nice to see how we match up and what happens in the fight. But I mean, you don't get to choose who you fight anyway. So to me, it didn't really matter who I was going against. I'm just excited to get in and get the first round done.
And how do you envision it, in terms of when you get your hand raised, is this another, you're going to stop your opponent with the strikes? Obviously, that is your base, but it is MMA. I'm sure you've got some skills on the ground as well. Would you like to show them off? How do you see it playing out?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't fixate too much on how it's gonna like plan out or anything. But I probably another stoppage because that's what seems to keep happening for me. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna win, and that's all. I just visualize winning every time, and that's what I'm going for. So we'll see what I pull out the bag on the night.
Brilliant. And I just as a fan, I'm very excited to see you, one of our best British prospects, mixing it up with basically some of the best women in MMA. Liz Carmouche, just looking at her record, she started fighting in 2010. I'm doing quick maths. I'm guessing you're about 10, 11 years old. At that point, did you even remember what you were doing then?
I weren't fighting at that point. I didn't come back to fighting until I was like 13. So for me, that's like, I weren't even interested in fighting at that time. So I wouldn't have even known who she was at 10, 11 years old. And obviously I started off in Thai boxing anyway. So it's crazy, isn't it? Like to have like women like that in the tournament already. I'm 25 years old and, I've got people like that in the tournament that I could potentially be fighting. It's just crazy and, not something that I'm taking lightly. I know, I could face her at one point. So it'll be exciting to see like, a young prospect, like you said, that wasn't fighting even at the time that she was involved in the sport. So, yeah.
And Talia Santos as well. She's just come from the UFC. She was one of the best fighters over there in 125. Does obviously them two are the standout names? Is there anyone else I'm missing in terms of people if you're going to win that million, what particular fighter are you thinking I've definitely got to get past them in the semis or the final?
Yeah, I think them two names are the top two girls. They're the ones that everyone's talking about as well. So I think they're definitely the main two to watch out for. But I always say, like, it's a tournament. They've got to get through the rounds themselves. They've got to get through injuries. Like you said, Liz has been around a long time. You never know whether she's got old injuries, that could come up. And they're not used to fighting, every 2 months. They're used to fighting twice a year or something like that. So you never know. There's a few other great girls in the tournament that could surprise us all. We don't get to choose our matches, like I said. So we'll just see who ends up going through. But I definitely think they're the two top girls, yeah.
Yeah, that is the fun of the tournament format. Right now, with training, obviously you are deep in camp. It is getting to the business end. You're based in, is it Florida right now?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm in Florida.
How's that going? How does the camp setup look like? Because obviously you're a Manchester girl. Did you swap between, or is that your main base now? Is it American Top Team you're at?
Yeah, no, American Top Team's my main base. I've been here now for like 4 or 5 fight camps, I think. So yeah, this is kind of where I do all my training. I'll be here for the full year throughout the tournament. I've actually got like my own little apartment now, which is nice. So I feel really settled and training's gone really well. Yeah, I mean, this is my last week in training. I fight next Thursday, so it's all getting very real now. But yeah, I love it over here in the sunshine.
Yeah, obviously it's brilliant weather, and the gym itself is, it's full of killers. Is that what drags you there? Obviously it is nice to go to the beach on your day off, but is the main thing getting to mix it up with the talent they've got on the mats there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of everything. Definitely the level that's on the mat is like crazy. The amount of girls that are here is really good for me. That was one of the main things that I was kind of missing out on a little bit, was the fact that I didn't have any girls to train with. I still train with the lads a lot, just because it works for me, but I train with and drill with girls too, which is so important, I found anyway, personally. So yeah, and the names that are on the mat, the experience, you know, the bodies that I've got around me, the advice and all that I get from other fighters is just like second to none. But also the lifestyle, you know, like waking up to the sun, it makes training a lot easier. You know, if I was in the UK, don't get me wrong, I would get up and get my training done, but when I can, you know, still work really hard and be just as dedicated over here in the sunshine, then why wouldn't I? So yeah, I get the best of both worlds, kind of.
Great. And is there a particular fighter in that gym who's been your go-to sparring partner, the one you are bouncing off the most? Obviously, you want to get someone to mimic your opponent or be a similar size or something like that. Is there a particular training partner you're kind of gelling with right now?
I mean, I was sparring one of the guys for this camp, but it was just like, yeah, there's a few. Do you know what? Well, everyone helps each other, and it's nice that a lot of the fighters are in camp at the moment, so everyone's training really hard, helping each other. I wouldn't say there's one particular name that I've like, you know, done everything with, but I have been sparring one of the guys this time and drilling with a few certain girls, but we kind of just mix it up a bit. You know, we just kind of go with what's working for us and whatever my coach has set, to be honest. So I'm one of them that likes to, you know, I put all my trust in my coach. He you know, decides all the training that I do and what sessions. So I just kind of get my head down, get the work done, and then sunbathe in between.
I just got a few little random one for you now, because we're very interested always at talkSPORT to hear about the hardest hitters, and you've been, you know, fighting since you're, you know, basically a baby, and you've been in ATT, you've had 10 fights in MMA. Is there anyone who stands out throughout your career who hit you the hardest?
Who I've liked, you mean?
Who basically anyone you've sparred, trained with, fought, anyone who gave you, you know, basically a good crack, and it's just stuck with you ever since.
Do you know, I get a few good cracks, but that's kind of what wakes me up. Who would I say? There's been so many. Even when I was training in the UK, you know, there was a lot of really strong bodies that I worked with. Who can I say? Off the top of my head, I can't even think of one. But just, do you know what? There's a few that honestly wake me up. I'm not going to lie.
It's okay, we'll move on. And I just want to get your opinion on Rose Namajunas. Obviously, she's a legend at 115. She's just moved into your division. What do you make of her performance against Ribas? And also, does she have the frame, the weight, everything it takes to be a champion at flyweight?
Yeah, do you know what? I love Rose. I've always watched her. I still yet to catch up on the weekend, though, because I went to sleep before she fought. I did have it on the TV, but I didn't make it until her main event. But yeah, I think she'll be fine at that weight. I think she's a strong girl. She's headstrong, and I always say, like, mentally, if you've got it, you can go far. You know, without the strong mind, then there's no chance. So, you know, I think she'll do well. She's building a confidence. She got another win on the weekend, so I think she could do it. She's a good contender.
Absolutely, and obviously with the UK MMA scene building and PFL getting involved as well, as we said earlier, you're a big Man City fan. Is the ultimate dream to kind of headline a show at that stadium?
Oh my God, I can't even think about that. It gives me goosebumps. I mean, honestly, if I could fight at the Etihad and we could put a show on there, that would just be like out of this world. It would be crazy. But I'm still 25, so I feel like it will happen one day. It's 100% going to happen. I've already said that, but just when it'll happen, I'm not sure. It'll probably be, I don't know. A few more years and I'll make that happen for sure. And I said it here first.
Would there be a dream opponent in mind, or you could probably sell out that, you know, with anyone off the street, but if you had it your way, you get the Etihad and who you're sitting opposite against?
I don't think I'll really care because I'll have the belt at that point. You know, I'll be fighting like for a world championship belt at that point. So I don't really mind, but I would just like a good few Manchester faces on it. You know, other fighters. I want there to be like a full Manchester card. So You know, that's kind of more what I'm bothered about rather than who I'm facing. I want like all the Manchester fighters on it.
Yeah, I'd definitely be there for that. But first things first, it is PFL 1. It's on April 4th, and I can't wait to watch. Good luck with the rest of the camp and fight nights, and yeah, hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.